Hey Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello, my love, and welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing? How is it going? I am so excited to be here with you today. Today's going to be a little bit of a jam fest, but I know it's going to be powerful because this always comes up in my life. I've talked about this on the show. It comes up with clients all the time, and it's a really important part of transformation and of manifestation. It's all about this phase that I call the shift, and what I'm talking about is the quote, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more than the risk it took to blossom." And that is Anaïs Nin, a beautiful quote that I use all the time. So we're going to explore that today. But first, welcome to the show. Welcome to this corner of the internet. If you are here, I know you are here to manifest the life of your dreams. I know that you can manifest the life of your dreams. And you've probably been knee deep in self-growth, doing the work, and you are ready for more. You're ready for the joy, for the abundance, for the freedom, for the true inner peace, the health, the vitality, everything that you've been going for. I know that you are ready. And I know that this manifestation space can get really freaking confusing, especially for us old souls, because I know you've probably realized you're an old soul by now. And as I've talked about on previous episodes, manifestation's a little different for us. I truly believe that yes, the laws of the universe are the same. The laws of creation in a lot of ways are the same for everyone. The law of attraction is the law of attraction, but for old souls, we also came here to learn and grow and evolve. And the way that I see it is we get to have everything that we desire, the 50K months or the dream home. We're allowed to have all of that. And our spirit, our soul is asking us to evolve into that person, to activate that part of us from the quantum, from a different way of doing it. So if you're here, you're knee deep, you're hardcore, I'm so grateful for that. Let's learn how to manifest. Let's learn how to put this stuff into action, really apply it in our everyday life, because it does get confusing out there. You hear, feel the feelings before you have it. And then you hear, take inspired action. Oh, but also don't force it and make sure to surrender. And sometimes it can be confusing to make sense of it all. So that's what I do. I am here for all things transformation, manifestation, and the process of awakening into who you truly are. I know you're ready. I'm ready. Let's do this. If you have not come and found me already on Instagram or on Facebook, I would love to see you over there at Talia Joy Manifestation. We've got some fun things coming up, like a full moon clearing, as well as some exciting new offers that are rolling out toward the end of the year in the next few weeks and months. So make sure to stay tuned on Instagram or around the show to announce all that. We've got a brand new challenge coming up that we're going to launch the new year with, and some fun workshops. I love to do my end of year workshop. I've done it for over what is it, guys? Like 8 years now or so. I've been doing end of year workshops. So we're going to do that. That's a powerful time. So make sure to stay tuned around, as I say, Instagram and the show. I'm always letting you guys know here what is going on. And I can't wait to see you in that. So let's dive into today's topic, which is all about this time when we make the change. And I call this the shift. You'll read about this in my book. I call this the shift. And this is a very distinct part of manifestation and transformation. And I'm going to say here, and I'll talk about this more as time goes on, but The way I see it energetically is like the truth is the truth is the truth. The truth of nature is also the truth of us. And we see, these different sort of spiritual or eternal truths like changing of seasons and the leaves letting go. And that reminds us to let go internally. It's like everything, the way that things work, the truth and the system of it all ripples into everything. And why I'm saying this is because the process of transformation is the process of manifestation. So we've often been told to believe, as I was saying, that we just affirm something, we just kind of decide what we want, and like I guess God or the universe is just going to kind of bring it to us. But there is a process behind it. Even if you listen to someone like Abraham, like Esther Hicks, or these people have been my teachers, Wayne Dyer, Gabby Bernstein, the people that talk, even Mike Dooley, I love him. The people that talk about law of attraction, it is a process of becoming a vibrational match for that which you want. So that's why we can't just say, I want 20 grand, and it just shows up with no effort, with no anything, because we have to become a match for that which we want. No matter how you look at it, whether you are saying to feel the feelings or surrender or take inspired action or do all of those things at once, it's the process of becoming a match. And that's the place where my clients come to me because they realize like, oh crap, I came here to manifest some money. I came here to achieve some things and I'm knee deep in an awakening. And how do I become that version of me? And how do I unleash that vitality and freedom and high vibes? How do I heal through what I've been through? And really looking to take it that next step. And this is an important place in that process. It's called the shift. The reason I am focused around this quote today is because there does become a day when the suffering outweighs like the benefit. The day came where the risk to remain tight in a bud was more than it took to blossom. And I have one of the most popular episodes on the show is called Exercising Your Fuck It Muscle. You can look back in the show. I will try to remember to link it below. Exercising Your Fuck It Muscle. Actually, I was going to say you could Google Talia Joy Fuck It Muscle, but then I said in my mind, maybe don't. So we'll just see. Never know what the internet remembers. Just kidding. But that is a beautiful speak to this as well, where the day comes where we're like, fuck it, I'm in. I don't care what it takes. And if you're like me, my clients, I truly do get to a point, and even now it's a big catalyst for change. And so that's what I experienced maybe a year and a half ago with my body pain. Every time I get to a deeper level of healing, I'll be trucking along, and just like you've manifested some great changes. You've made great changes in your life, but sometimes there's still those things that you're like, I just am ready to not be dealing with this anymore. Whether it's abundance stuff or you're just really ready to meet the one or to heal the thing, the pain starts to outweigh the staying comfortable, right? Because for a long time, it's like, oh, I know I should be doing this, but that's tomorrow's me's problem, right? I know I should be, but let's leave it till Monday. And the day comes where it's like, fuck it, today's Monday. And the magic is when it's not even a Monday, but you treat it like a Monday. That's, you're in the shift when you're like, today's day one. It could be a Sunday or a Saturday, right? No one quits drinking on a Friday, but if you do, you're serious. Anyway, the day comes where the risk to stay where you are outweighs it. And that is where we make changes. So that is the place where we go, fuck it, I'm investing in a mentor, or screw it, I'm buying a gym membership or buying myself a 10 punch pass to a yoga studio, getting a health coach, or that's it, I'm going on the dating apps again, or I'm healing this persistent thing within. And I feel like you see these persistent patterns in your life, and that they're probably trying to teach you something, right? You have that wisdom to be like, what is really the source of this problem, this struggle? And this is where we get to this place where it's like, screw it. I am 2 feet in, jumping in to figure this out, or to get support, or to find a new way, right? So I know you're probably like me, where I sometimes get really stuck, and then I kind of have this moment of like, screw it, there must be a way. And then that's exactly what I do, is I move into some sort of action, whether it's starting to take more walks because my inner guide is like, walking more, moving more. And I'm like, no, tomorrow's me. And then the day comes where I'm like, screw it, I'm going for a walk right now. instead of the dishes, instead of not whatever else, or I'm doing yoga, or I'm hiring a mentor to help me with this, screw it. I don't want to suffer anymore. So I know you get what I'm saying, and you've been at that place many times in your life. So let's talk about the power of the shift. So you know that I love the metaphor of the butterfly and the caterpillar and all of that. So it's like inside, you know, you're meant to be the butterfly, but you've been operating as the caterpillar. And there comes a day when you're like, screw it, I'm going in the cocoon, I'm doing the process, and I am coming out what I am meant to be, right? So I really do believe that there is this shift where we come face to face with that truth of I am made for so much more and I'm sick of staying small. And because you already have some awareness probably around healing and, you know, what is really stopping you, limiting beliefs, like you've got some tools, you're ready to put it all into action. It's just that time of grit when it's like I am deciding that the risk to stay where I am is now outweighing where I know I'm meant to go, what I know I'm meant to be, or how I'm meant to feel. You know, I personally believe that I'm not meant to live in chronic pain. I also do spend time knowing that if that is my actual destiny, that I can be okay with that as well. But for the sake of this, I believe it's trapped emotion. So as I get to these levels of like, screw it, I'm ready to see a little bit more. And I go into a portal with maybe inner child healing or somatics or something like that. I discover more about myself and I make progress. It's those fuck it moments that really send us deeper. Even if it's in desperation, we start being more open. We start being more willing. And that's a big shift that happens there. We go from not even realizing we're unwilling, but we're just not doing the thing. We're not getting help, or we're not going on a walk. We're just not. And then the day comes where we do, right? So we spring into that action. So it's scary because in this place, when we have this shift, we have to kind of go out on a leap of faith. We have to try something new. We have to trust that we are, in fact, going to move forward, or that we're made for big things. And there can be that wobble in that where we're like, am I made for big things? I think I am. Keep going in that direction. Trust, because I see, as a mentor and an intuitive, I see that it's your soul guiding you to that next chapter. That's why it becomes increasingly uncomfortable, is because your soul is actually saying like, we're ready, but your human is going like, I'm not ready, right? And that causes that disconnect, that discomfort, that like, fuck, why am I so stuck, until we take the leap. And I know that you're either in a shift or really close to a shift, or you wouldn't be listening to this. It is time to take that leap. And the shift happens when you authentically have the desire and, as I'm saying, the willingness to change and experience something new. So the shift often happens after a dark point, or the goo phase, as I talk about, or when we're being really stuck, or when we're feeling really stuck or stagnant. And it's about starting to build you up into something new. We become a shift. We go through a death portal of such, where we are ready to leave behind what we've been carrying. We're ready to stop, quote unquote, self-sabotaging or whatever it is. We're like, we move out of the unwilling to see things differently, and we become open to something new. So before we enter this shift, we don't realize, as I'm saying, that you're unwilling to see things differently. We're just head down, just committed to that way of thinking. We're either in that old identity, we're stuck in our wounds. Again, no judgment. It's just what's going on. And then we become blessed enough, I know it sucks, but to have this breakdown, or to have this crisis, or this such discomfort, that immediately after is the shift. And this is where you're asking to go. You're asking for changes in your life. And that doesn't just come with like a series of only blessings. Like, we also have to move through, and the blessings will be there, I promise. And they are there. So the shift happens after this realization, and then we become more lit up to change. We become more inspired, or even desperate, but we become more nitty gritty to change than when we were stuck in the previous phase. So When I say depressive here, I don't necessarily mean clinical depression, but I mean when we have a depressed time where like our energy is low and we're like stuck and suffering, that becomes a catalyst to change. And when we're in that low point, we have all the shoulds. We're going, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. But as we get through that into the like, screw it, fuck it, or fuck it moment, I'm taking it, I'm doing the stuff, we become more in an active energy, less of a depressed, lethargic energy, and more into a like, I don't care what it takes, I'm investing or I'm spending the time. That is where we really get to take new action. So this is what this time is doing. When the risk to remain tight in a bud is more than it takes to blossom, your soul, the cosmos, your manifestations are asking you to take new action, to follow through on the revelations or the clarity you've received or the work you've already done. It's about starting to make new decisions from higher self-worth, from more trust, from more integration, from more inspiration. This is the time to either dive deeper into healing, to release those constructs, to sort of quote unquote figure out, although I don't think it has to be this like figure out process, but to see what has been stopping you, to see what needs to be released as you step into a new identity. And in this place, I don't just want to talk about the weird in between and the fuck it place. I want to also talk about as we move through that, when it's like, screw it, the risk is too big, I'm taking new action. We start to expand. We start to release those old constructs and build a new identity for ourselves, stepping into doing things differently. This is where we show up as a more expanded version of ourselves, or where we take that action, where we actually try on having the confidence or the boundaries or really going into self-care. When we become willing to take the steps, and this can be toward a goal as well. Maybe it's you want to start a business and you're like back and forth, and all of a sudden it's like, screw it, I don't want to work for this job forever. I've been called to read cards or to talk about my health journey or whatever. Screw it, I'm doing it. Now we start taking action, because it's like I was staying so small, ignoring that inner voice, and now we take action. Now we try on being brave. Now we move into more confidence, where we start making those new decisions and stepping into that new expanded version. And that, my friend, is magnetic. That's the time when we do just want to start trying things. We just want to start acting on that inspiration. And as I've said many times before, it's not our job to know the whole path, but as we move on that inspiration, maybe your inspiration is to, take a walk in the morning. And I love to use this example. You don't know that maybe 5 mornings from now, you're going to coexist on the street with someone else and get talking. And maybe they are going to invite you to, something to do with your health or a networking thing. You just don't know where life is guiding you. But after that sort of depressive, lethargic state that we all go through, by the way, we're all going up and down with our cycles, the seasons, it's normal. That's why I said it's not depressed. It's down. Anyway, we move through that, we get into the high energy, and that's when we start to be more magnetic. We do something and little tendrils come off of possibility. We meet people, opportunities come up, and pretty soon we're in a completely different place. So when you become willing to make those new decisions and take the steps, you've entered the shift. And I don't even mean the steps, they have to be perfect. I just mean you move from inaction into, screw it, I'm going to start learning about this on YouTube. I'm going to hire someone. I'm going to do the thing. That is the shift. And with the shift brings possibility and beautiful rewards. And it's also hella scary because it can be scary to make big moves. But when you push through that and practice being brave, when you practice showing up, when you practice going after it, you start to not only shake the foundation of everything you've been, so it is uncomfortable, but you also start to receive these new blessings, these new, opportunities. So you may be called to make a drastic pivot or end a relationship or move or something. And if that's been, really, eating away at you inside, it's time to start looking at how could I start moving toward this? Because the time comes where we have to blossom. When our spirit is calling us to blossom, but our human self is like, no, but I'm comfy in this tight little bud. It does not work. Your spirit is calling you bigger, and your manifestations are calling you bigger. So this shift, this place is where we start focusing more on what feels really good to us. And I do core values with my clients. When we start making a change in our life, that it moves toward what we want. If it is something as tangible as a business or something, we start making moves toward that place, right? And this is where we start to become more in harmony. Our priorities change really from working and doing and just having endless people pleasing or just wanting more money all the time, receiving validation. We start being focused more on getting into alignment with our soul, getting into alignment with those things we say we want, walking in harmony with who we truly are, honoring ourselves and our desires and knowing we are worth it. That energy will get you to the gym more than you got to go to the gym because you need to lose 20 pounds, right? Like that true authenticity. But health is important to me, so I don't want to put it off anymore. I'm going to start going for a walk. I'm going to start going to the gym. That place is the shift. It's fueled by love and spirit rather than the ego, rather than the shoulds. And maybe you still feel like you could lose a little bit of weight. Sure, fine. But that way, and I know that road very well, losing weight or being in my body focused on, it being about pounds rather than being about health and vitality, that was a massive shift for me. And now I'm so much more quote unquote disciplined or whatever because it's coming from love. So that was a massive shift where I went away from what I quote unquote should be and into my authentic, vital, healthy self. So this shift is where we are walking more deeply in line with what is important to us. And we may distance ourselves from people for a bit. People may fade out of our life, new people may come in, but it is so worth it because it's moving you through your awakening journey, but it's also moving you toward your manifestations. So the shift is asking you to do just that, to shift into who you truly are, to take those leaps, to integrate the work, to move toward your goals and dreams because you are worth it. So there is sometimes, like I say, the shift is just like, oh, this beautiful time. And other times it's like, screw it. I am done suffering. I'm manifesting the money it takes to do the thing, or I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to wake up and stretch tomorrow because I'm worth it and I'm sick of being in pain or whatever it is, right? It's really us it's this time when we're telling the universe like, okay, I'm learning my lessons. I'm here. I'm ready. I hear you. What is my next step? And you can ask that spiritually. Okay, I'm ready. What is my next step? But just be prepared for it. You will be shown your next step. And it's not always as fun as we think, but they will show you your next step, where you need to shift, where you need to change, where you need to heal. A coach or someone might come into your life, or you might have a trigger or a realization. You will be shown. If you don't know what to do, ask spirit, ask your own spirit. You will be led. But often we know what we need to do. We know what's not working, right? And so in manifestation, if you've been trying to manifest for a while and it hasn't been working, I want to ask you, what inner nudges have you been ignoring? And me too, okay? Like, truly, me too. That this is the process, but that is where we get our next step from, is stepping into who we truly are and what our inner guide has been asking us to do. Or at least if it's not even that woo-woo, just moving forward. If you endlessly say you want health, it's time to take more action. If you seriously say you want to heal what you've been through, or you're so ready to not, react in the same way or have the same triggers, it's time to go deeper. It just is time. We can't escape the work. We want to move forward, and the shift is where we physically move forward. It's where the risk to remain stuck is way more than it takes to blossom. And I say this, I have a quote on Instagram where I say, like, I know it's scary to up level, but isn't it scarier to never up level, right? That is scarier. So the last thing I want to touch on, and then we're going to wrap up, is as we are in this time, this shift, we really want to focus on the art of deliberate creation. And the art of deliberate creation is where we are the intentional, deliberate creator of our lives. And I'm not just talking like go out and create a mansion. I mean, cool. But I'm saying this is where we start to focus on what do I want? What do I want to feel? And moving into line, in alignment, in line with what you say you want. And it can be really difficult in the beginning to make new choices or to move away from default actions that aren't serving us. It requires you to dig deep, to connect to your truth, to deliberately create what you want, to go, what do I want in my life? Not just more money, write that at the top, sure, but go deeper. What else do you want? This does take that art of deliberately creating, teaching you how to, or like teaching yourself, reprogramming yourself to be in the new energy of what you're wanting. And this is where we get into repeating a habit until it becomes second nature. Or, I love to do the subconscious and conscious reprogramming. It doesn't even have to be that fancy, but all I'm saying is it takes a rewiring of who you've been. This is where with clients, I get into identity work and it's like, who is the identity of what I need to become here? Not about changing yourself, but about evolving, stepping into that next evolution. So this is the place where we get into deliberate creation. You start creating more of what you want, and the universe goes, oh shit, man, she's serious. She's doing it. Let's help her. That's what happens is we make the step. We decide to go out on the walk. We do a walk for a few days because we're changing our life. We're changing our morning routine. And the universe is like, that is so gorgeous. Let's make them connect with their soulmate on the block or with an investor and it's not even always that big. It could be a friend and you've been really wanting connection and you start seeing this other woman or somebody else on the road and pretty soon you're talking, and that is support. It's like as you start going, they start sending you things. But just like a GPS, you cannot get guidance sitting in your driveway. You can't be shown your next steps sitting there. I don't think we need to panic act or scramble. But when I don't know what to do, even if it's very physical in my business or something like that, where I deliberately create is my inner world. I meditate more. I go to nature. I nurture my core values. I get into my center so that I can receive my next step. So I don't just go do a bunch of master classes to like throw a bunch of stuff at the walls. I would actually take that art of deliberate creation and turn it inward. What do I want? I want more ease. I want more peace. I want more freedom. I want more health. Okay, how can I be that? So it's not just going out and creating the money, it's going out and creating who you need to be. That is what the shift is calling you in. Or to. That is what being in the shift is calling you toward. The day came where the risk to remain tight in a bud was more than it took to blossom. And you know what blossoming entails? Assuming the identity of the flower, becoming that, allowing yourself to unfurl, to show the world your colors, or my metaphor is getting twisted up. So you will have your old momentum for a little bit. And this has come up with clients the last few days, so I'll end on this beautiful metaphor. You will have your old momentum for a bit. If a snowball is rolling down a hill in one direction and you want it to start going in a different direction, if you've been creating a pattern or money and you want to change that story, it takes not only slowing down the snowball, but actually stopping it and then starting to put it in the new direction. That's the shift. We are slowing down the momentum and then we start sending it in a new direction. You start deliberately creating that new direction. But think about the stopping and then all of a sudden you're paused, right? It doesn't feel like there's any momentum. And then you start moving. You have that old momentum for a bit. So if you're changing your relationship with health, there's going to be old thoughts that come up right away. You're going to have old thoughts when you look in the mirror or when you haven't lost any weight or you don't feel any more healthy. But this is where we have to persevere and we have to move through and create that new momentum. So we're trying to manifest more money. Day 2, you can receive a bunch of money on day 2, but all I'm saying is we're still going to bump up against those old habits. Our old self is bumping up against our new self, and it causes waves. So at first, there's a time where we almost have blinders on. It's almost the time where you have to just have blind faith and just keep going in that direction. The momentum then picks up in the new direction, and it becomes easier, right? To exercise, it's hard at first to be like, oh, 5 a.m. But once you do it for a few days and it feels good, it actually becomes easier. For me, anything I've done, cleansing or, even writing, it's hard at first. It's hard to get into it. But then all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, I wrote 88,000 words. How did that happen? I'm not even a writer, right? It's because I had to practice it. So whether it's health or wealth or confidence or boundaries or freedom or ease, we have to practice that new direction, because for a little bit, you will have that old momentum. So rock your shift, continue moving forward. When you put gestures forward in a new direction, like you hire the personal trainer or you start going out on your walks, I know I'm using these examples in this episode. If you start doing that, then that is the way that you show the universe you're ready. You don't show the universe you're ready by just going come on, I'm ready. You show the universe you're ready. So when you're blessed enough to be going through a goo phase, a shift is calling you. And if you're entering the shift, if you're in the shift right now, your highest self is calling you to do the things that version of you does. To be that person, to assume that new identity, to move in that direction. And if you can afford it, don't be afraid to get people to help you along the way. I was actually reflecting just today. I was country life. I was stacking wood. And I was thinking about all the different coaches I've worked with, all the different mentors in my journey, starting with people like Wayne Dyer, who I was just reading his books and listening to his audio programs on CD, I'll have you know. But then all the coaches and the mentors and the readings and the group programs and all the stuff I've done that has helped me. I get desperate, and if I can, I'll do a masterclass. I'll hire a person. Sometimes I can't, and the tools are all within you. You can do this on your own, but I'm just saying sometimes it really helps, especially if you're stuck in business or, with your health. Sometimes the right person can give you those insights. I know that's what I do for my clients, is give those insights that are blind spots, the things that they don't know. It's a gift to work along with people in this journey, but also know that your inner guide is always guiding you. So do what you can from where you are, invest what you can, and remember, investing isn't just money. It's also time, it's focus, it's love. And if you can do money, do that as well. It's a powerful momentum creator, but it is really about making that effort to be in the art of deliberately creating what you want. So I hope this served you today. I tip my metaphoric hat to you because I never really wear hats. I love you so much. You've come so far to be here. You are on the cusp. You are on the verge. You are already doing it. It is so exciting to see. I will see you maybe on Instagram, maybe in the new full moon clearing, or in the next episode. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I truly hope that it served you and helped to move the needle forward in your life. So before you go, I want to ask if you are looking for some new practices, if you need a little meditation for some stress, or you're looking to get unblocked. If this is you, I want to invite you into the freebie library. Yes, it's free. It contains an Awakening Her daily practice, a meditation for stress, a guide to help get unblocked, as well as a scripting manifestation exercise to use the power of the quantum to literally script out your future. So if you're looking to get a little bit more mojo in your manifestations, I welcome you into the freebie library. It's going to help to move you forward and give you some extra tools in your tool belt. So check the links below and dive in now.